Oh, info in the China death fans. Okay, well, yeah, I'll do that before I leave. But in the meantime, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. The execution vans. Let's see if I'll find the video on it. See if I can show you some. Um, the this might be the one. Yeah.
The execution van.
Yeah.
Execution unit was developed by the government of the People's Republic of China and was first used in 1997. The prisoner is strapped to a stretcher and executed inside the van. The van allows death sentences to be carried out without moving the prisoner to an execution ground. The vans also require less manpower per execution, requiring 4 persons to assist with the injection and are mobile. The PRs.
I don't know why they're showing this picture of a fucking van. That is not the death van, for the record. That's just a bunch of people standing around at a campground, I think. Yeah, so they bring these guys out. I don't know. Okay, this is. I'll find a better video of it. They've been around for a while, but in particular, let's try. There we go. Videos. Here we go. Yeah, this is an older one. Well, here I'll just show you. This is an article. This should work. So, inside China's brutal execution system with the mobile injection vans and firing squads after killing most in the world. This is from 2021. A woman convicted of murder shouts as she hears the verdict before being taken to be executed in China. This is when they used to do the public sentencing of people in a stadium for murder. All these people will be executed. Many of them killed kind of right there. They're taken away and immediately killed after this. This is, and this is only, about 9-10 years ago. They were still doing this. This is the van itself. Pictures allegedly showing Chinese officials loading a man into the back of an execution van. They would lay these guys on these, as to say, this is a weird one because this is one of the footages that got out. They had this guy, a picture of allegedly a man with a placard hanging around his neck due to be killed in public execution in China. They would take this one was a different thing. They took this guy from a prison who was convicted of something, and instead of killing him in the prison or on the prison grounds or any of that kind of shit, they just took him someplace out in the countryside, stopped along the side of the road, took him out and shot him on the side of the road and just left him there. That was this particular story. But the van, that's that van right there. And oh, by the way, one of the reasons, why does America have more people in jail than any other comparable country? I'll tell you why. Because ours live a long fucking time. Even if you think they don't deserve it, these motherfuckers live forever. We got a big bunch of people who die in jail of old age because they were convicted of 9 rapes or 3 murders and that kind of shit, and they're guilty as fuck, and they didn't even bother to appeal, and they just lived it out, and that's that. It's not private prisons. It's because they live. With more freedom comes more chances for people to fuck up, and with that comes this. Okay, it's not the profit of it either. It's not profitable. As a turnover, it's not. One of the other reasons is because we don't kill as many of them. There's a global execution tally. China is believed to execute more people than the rest of the world combined, as it refuses to release its exact figures. You know who does release their exact figures? Iran. They brag about it all the time. This one only has 251 plus. What year is this? This is 2021. Iran executed 560 plus people. I want to think it was 564 last year. We know that number because they brag about it. Here's all the numbers. There you go. This is China in the thousands. They don't even list it, but we know it's over 1,000. Iran 251, Saudi Arabia 184, Iraq 100, Egypt 32, USA 22. There you go. And we have 340 million people. Let's understand the population of Iraq, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, even Iran aren't close to our populations. China's obviously bigger, but they don't it doesn't quite matter. It's not a per capita thing. They just get rid of them. Somalia, we have a number similar to like Pakistan and Somalia, and they think about how small these places are. The per capita rate in Somalia to the United States is probably 3 times as great. South Sudan, God knows what the fucking numbers like there today. There's Yemen, that's way higher, and that's the official ones. That's if they're not just chucking you off a fucking roof. Police officers practice executing supposed prisoners with a shot to the head. They go through the process. There's the guys who hold him. There's the guy with the gun. This is the sentencing rally. That's Lei Xiaomin, who was executed by the regime in there. That's his killing. These are Robert Lloyd Schellenberger was sentenced to death in a case of received international condemnation. Right? That's the whole thing. Now Kham is a drug lord. That's where Trump talks about his quick trial. There you go. Zhao Ziwei was executed for killing 9 school children. It's one of the stabbings that they have over there all the time. But they basically they roll up to the prison with this truck. And that truck right there. They put you in, and next to that truck is a crematorium. Yes, Iran executed 564 plus people. Like, that's the number we know of. And by the way, in terms of the, quote, capitalistic jails that people are talking about, you do realize that one of the reasons why jails are profitable in the United States is because you have to feed and clothe and keep them alive. If we were in the business of just getting rid of people or letting them wither, there would be no profit margin. You wouldn't have all the resources you have access to if you did it that way. Just saying. Meanwhile, there are a bunch of people in Jimmy Dore world that would like you to believe that this is a better system. For the record. Yeah. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world. No, not anymore. And one of the reasons we have the highest incarceration rate is because we have living prisoners. These guys, one of the reasons why China doesn't have a rate anywhere close to ours is because they dust them off. You can be in China, depending on the severity, I suppose, or how connected your family is, robbery is a capital crime. Yeah. Some people commit crimes so they have a place to sleep and 3 meals a day. Maybe. That would be and most of those people don't go to jail for any length of time. And if you're telling me I should, that people rape people because they're tired of being homeless, I don't know how you make that fucking argument. Also, only poor people in jail, not true at all. But these guys, they're in this line. It's completely conceivable that somebody in this is just there for robbery, and they're getting executed right next to whatever the most heinous criminals they have. Just saying. This is a real thing. Think what you will about it, but that's true. Imagine the PTSD of those Chinese officers. Agreed. I mean, you would have to indoctrinate someone to get them to do that, or I mean, to have the belief system that you could stack that up and do that to somebody. Yeah. It's gnarly. Hold on one second. See if they got this. I'm trying to find this piece of footage for you. Leave it on that note. But I mean, that's why I brought it up. Yeah. House supports capitalistic prisons. How so? How do I support what's a capitalistic prison? How do I support a capitalistic prison? You mean because I make the point that if we didn't keep our people alive, our prisoners alive most of the time, even for some of the most heinous crimes, there wouldn't be a profit margin in any of it? I'm not for for-profit prisons. I'm telling you why they exist in this country and not in other places. You don't have for-profit prisons in China because there's no profit to be made. The whole point is to keep the fucking place empty by killing everybody you can get rid of. Does that make sense? I think they mean private prisons like here in Arizona. Maybe so. I don't know. Police departments in the U.S. are mostly corrupt. Nonsense. Due to blue line of silence, not even close to true, Robert. Yeah. They work for slave wages. No, they do not. That's Peter, that's one of those phrases you hear a lot. No, they don't. You can work off your time by working in either in a factory or becoming a fireman or those kind of things to show you can be a productive member of society. It's one of the ways you show you want to be and can be rehabilitated. Your health care is covered. You have room and board, and you are fed. The government, the United States taxpayer, is paying for your life during the time you were incarcerated. On top of that, you have a sentence, 8, 10, 12, 15 years. You can shave some of that time off by doing work. So you're not working for money. Even though you do get some, you're working for the time. You're proving that you can fit back into society and that you won't go back to your awful rapey, robbery ways. That's what you work for. Some can be redeemed. I agree. Business runs government in America. No, it does not. Prison privatization leads to cost cutting in some cases. Although that one famous prison, the dude in Arizona who made everybody wear like pink underwear and all that kind of shit, that was state funded. That was a state jail that was paid. That was not private at all. Remember it was that sheriff Joe Arpaio. Remember that guy? Yeah, that wasn't a private prison. That was run by the state. You talk about cost cutting and how how prisoners are treated. It's patriarchal punishment because they enjoy it. Who enjoys what? Yeah, yes, man, but prison healthcare is corporate murder? What? How is prison healthcare corporate murder? What? That's very strange. Don't get me wrong. Let me be. State hires or contracts. What? Contracts the private companies. Yeah, but not in that case. Not in the Sheriff Joe's place. Not the one he ran. Business does not own politicians. If they went against the will of the voter, I don't care how much money they're fucking getting, in an extreme way, and couldn't appeal to a certain version of the voter, then they wouldn't get elected. It's silly. It's an oversimplification that takes the responsibility off of us. That's the kind of thing people say right before they say voting doesn't matter. What happened to the chat? I don't know. Maybe it pops in and out. Kristen Sinema, goodbye to bad rubbish. She was going to run in a three-way race and she wasn't going to win. And she was going to lose to the Democrat. So I think we're okay. Every Republican is for sale? Maybe, but at fucking fire sale prices. For the newbies, maybe add some backstory, Hal. To which part, Treva? There's so much backstory to cover. Arpaio's a crook. I agree. I also, by the way, I don't think prison should be private. I think the state and the taxpayer should take responsibility for them because that would make us have more engagement about them, more direct oversight because they are paid for with taxpayer money. But I'm telling you why they exist and why prison costs are outsourced in a lot of states is specifically because you've got these are like in some cases dormitories for criminals that aren't going anywhere. murderers and rapists and people who've committed horrible, horrible crime who have no interest in, in being rehabilitated. I think I'm better. Sorry, Boss Brian said something. I missed it. It was scrolling by so fast. There's so much conversation going. Anytime I jumpstart one of these conversations, Sexy Liberal coming anywhere near Boston? Yes, we are. Boston Brian, we will be there. And if I can do anything to get you up on stage for the Q&A, I'm going to do it. Get used to the idea. At the very least, you're going to come as my guest. Of course. Slave wages is an oxymoron. Slaves don't get paid. I agree, Peter. Yes. Agreed. Anybody who's getting paid for something and can quit is not a slave. And anybody who says they are is, it's like, why is it any different from Gina Carano saying that if she's getting canceled, she's getting, canceled for being shitty. It's just like Jews during the Holocaust. It's the same thing. It's like the dark side of stolen valor. Your stolen victimhood is effectively what that is. Looking for you ending on a stoic optimism note. Carl Smith, I would argue that I am, if I may. Yeah. Here's what it all boils down to. Vote your values and never throw your vote away. And if you're confronted with what we believe is a choice that you think is the lesser of two evils, as we say here all the time, choose less evil. No bullshit throwing your vote away or going, I'm going to do a protest vote or any of that shit. You choose the person that moves you closer to your actual values. And if you don't choose either one of them, what you're telling me is that you hope the worst happens. You hope the worst person who's running gets what they want done. Because you really don't care. You want it to all burn down or something. And if you're going to say that, then don't fuck around in chat rooms like mine or anybody else pretending you give a shit about democracy. Because you don't. And it's okay. It's kind of like JBS and their bullshit advertising. You don't have to put environmentally conscious on the label if you ain't. Just admit it. Just admit in that situation, you don't give a fuck. That you're going to vote Jill Stein or some shit when it's never going to happen because harumph, because you're a fucking toddler. Meanwhile, the rest of us, the adults, will vote, our conscience and try to move things like closer to our goal all the time, bit by bit. Let's see. I want to see a nerd. You should see a Nerd Halen show. There we go. Yeah, they're tantrum toddlers. Other than that, I have no opinion. Yeah, Trump would destroy Gaza. That whole thing. You have to finish the problem. What Trump was saying today, the idea that anybody was like, I'll show Biden, the guy who's dropping aid in Gaza and upsetting Netanyahu. I'll show him. I'll threaten to vote for Donald Trump, who would basically take a phone call Netanyahu and say napalm the fucking place. Yeah, you're gonna do that. That's what you're gonna do. That's your protest. Okay, all that says to me is you don't actually give a fuck. That you're an outrage farmer, and I have no reason to take that seriously. That's why. In the meantime, the rest of us will be over here giving a shit. How will make MAGA Mike what? Oh, yeah. Put the bill on the floor. What will make MAGA Mike put the bill on the floor? Time. He's going to do it because it's part of a defense supplemental. He can only hold out so long. It's all for fucking show. Yeah. Can't get one party democracy right here. Breeds corruption. Can't get one party democracy right in Illinois. Breeds corruption. Okay. It is not Democrats' responsibility to keep the Republican Party afloat if they suck, because you're afraid that if it's just Democrats, it'll eventually be corrupt. You either believe in a correcting system, or that people will be actually, that there will be other Democrats you can vote for eventually, or you think you actually believe in what the Republicans are for and you want to keep them afloat and allow them a shot at shit because you believe somehow that their ideas are worthwhile. And if that's your idea, again, that's it. If that's what you believe, knock yourself out. All right, I'll get a cat. God damn it. Hold on 1 second. For God darn. Who is it, Mr. Singleton? Oh, sorry. I'll leave the chat up so you can talk amongst yourselves and complain about me actually being a man of conviction. I'll be right back. You're my chipple. Well, I love you because you're my chipple. You're the big boy. You're a big boy. Hi. What's your chipper doing? Hello. What you doing? Hi. What's up, fat boy? How's he doing? What's going on? You're such a big boy. This Chip. He looks a lot fatter when I hold him like this, I swear to God. He's a big boy, but he's not that big. He's just a big cat. But when I hold him like that, it's unflattering. That's why he doesn't like it. See, because he's got kind of a big head. I know. You look like Godzilla, buddy. I'm just telling you. Your head looks like the recent Godzilla movie. I'm just saying. And you're my buddy. What's your boy? What's your boy? What's your buddy to do? What's your buddy to do? What's that noise? Oh, did you hear that? Oh, yeah. If I make that noise, he knows it's snack time. He knows I'm going to get him a treat. And he starts purring immediately. Yeah, that's right. Suck on that, fucking Pavlov, you bastard. All right, I'll let you down, buddy. There you go. It's your boy. It's your boy. What's your boy? What's your buddy to do? What's your buddy to do? What's your buddy doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's your buddy to do? What's your buddy doing? I know. You're a good boy. You are a good boy. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. It's like, Dad, stop it. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Now, see, that's why I got to shave before every goddamn show, because if I do that and I get, like, chip in my whiskers and it just stays there, and then one of them slides right up my nose, and then I die. It's so sad. So sad. Look at it. Look at the fucking cat hair on my shirt too. Pitiful. Just pitiful. Anyways, love you guys. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And for fuck's sake, do me a favor real quick before I leave. I'm going to leave you with this. Do us all a favor. Breathe through your nose as much as you can. If you're gonna fucking cat hair, stand up straight. And if you feel yourself being on your phone with your neck forward like this, remind yourself to fucking stand up straight. You compress your diaphragm, and when you're operating with less oxygen than you need, you get in fight or flight mode, and you get fucking panicked, and everybody's miserable. And one of the reasons why everybody on fucking Twitter is so angry all the time is because you sit like this, and you squash your fucking lungs, and you can't understand why you don't have enough air in your lungs. And you're like, I feel like I'm being choked. Like, well, that's why. Stand up straight. Breathe through your nose. Don't breathe through your mouth. You can exhale through your mouth if you're meditating or something like that. But in general, place your tongue on your hard palate. Don't let it sag into the bottom of your mouth. And breathe through your goddamn nose. That's all. The other thing is take a bunch of deep breaths before you respond to things. I think that's one of the best things you do. Like if you see something online, practice good information hygiene. And in the middle of it, if you see something that's fucking with you and you're like, oh, and you're about to dive in, just go. still going to fuck this guy up, but I'm going to do it very calmly. And if you have scoliosis, that's this kind of waiver of your back. It doesn't affect your forward head position. It still shouldn't. So do your best to keep your head back like this, because for every inch forward, your neck goes like this, it's an extra 10 pounds pressure on your spine. It's not good. It's unhealthy. Just telling you. And I'm telling you this because I love you more than you love yourself, except when you've got the blinds drawn, in which case I have no idea.